Well, thank you very much for that. It's extremely kind. We've been around this area all day today with Harry. We've been in Aprilia and we've been in Anzio. In Aprilia we unveiled together a monument to my father and to all the other fallen from the Battle of Anzio, whose graves were never found. And so the erection of this cenotaph was deeply moving, particularly on this special day, which is, as we've been told, the 70th anniversary of my father's demise. So that was that, and it was terrific, and I thank Mr. Schindler very much for the extraordinary amount of work that he's done putting into my visit here. Well done, and thank you. Told by Mr. Hodges that I could just sit down quietly and that there's a couple of students who've been primed to ask me nice easy questions. I mean, I will do that in a minute, but I would just like to say a couple of words before I do. And they are this. Obviously I've done a tiny bit of homework, so I knew that you were a liberal arts school and I knew that you'd been founded in 1969. You know, when most of the rest of us were tearing up the cobblestones in Grosvenor Square or outside the Sorbonne. Nevertheless, liberal arts and operations in academia that operate across national and international boundaries are ever more important and extremely important now. So all I can do really is to say that institutions like this I encourage with all my heart. This is the first time that I've ever crossed boundaries into academia since I was at Calais Youth, at a school that I gather I share with Andrew. I had already left and it had turned into a sixth form college by the time he went there. So, but nevertheless, it is the same building. So that's nice to remember. I've got something that I'm going to read, and it's quite short, so don't worry. It's absolutely not intended as an admonition of any kind to anyone. It's intended as an encouragement to all the students in this august institution, to encourage you in the work that you will doubtless be called upon to do in the future, in order to make this world a somewhat better place than it is now. I need my bins. This is a short poem that I wrote in 2004 on the occasion of the election of G.W. Bush as the President of the United States of America for the second term. An event that I found deeply upsetting, I have to say. I have to declare that now before I even start. However, a few years later, I note that on this particular copy of this poem, I've written a foreword, which is, I wrote this poem in disgust in 2004 when G.W. Bush was elected for a second term. Times have changed, question mark, I hope so, exclamation mark. And the next bit confounded me. I said, I'm determined to visit OWS this week, exclamation mark. You are the beautiful and proud are. And I scratched my head for a few minutes and I said, yeah, Occupy Wall Street, that's where I was. And of course it was. Sadly, things hadn't improved all that much by 2008, when I wrote another poem which is infinitely longer and far more either scrupulous or scurrilous, depending on your point of view. So I've left that one at home. Anyway, this is the thing I wrote in 2004, and I shall read it to you as I say, as encouragement, not admonition. And then I shall put the floor open to my primed suspects and see if I can answer the other question. Here we go. 2004, a second term. Why cannot the good prevail? Here in America, there is at heart a people just and true, open sometimes to the point of ridicule, good neighbours to rebuild the barn, the doctor's note of Western legend carried forth beyond the grave. I knew your pa enough. In caucuses across the land, deliberate they'll always stand, defenders of the Rosenbergs, symbolic of that yearning to be better than before. They never will give up their brother to the grocer's cold machine, belt welts livid from the strong arm of the law. On campuses, in boardrooms, over giving thanks and pumpkin pie, on hustings in committee rooms, whenever tyrants loomed, we always held in our esteem the ones who hold on to the dream, unflinching, while the bullies pose and fiddle on the hill. Has commerce so reduced the free that, blinded like a tot, contaminated by the dog shit in the grass, we blunder, slaves to humbug and this Texan dynasty? No. Beyond the grip of trade, the young, strain, beautiful and proud, and the hoarfrost breath of new blood needs but nudges from the old forgotten guard to scale the moral high grounds in the clouds. Thank you. So good luck with your futures.